Hello, everyone. If there is anyone watching, I'm sure it won't be for a little while. It's mostly for myself right now. And if it stays like that, that's fine. Um, I am basically going to just draw. And my ultimate goal is to create a massive picture just full of like crazy characters and just super detailed and super just weird. Um, I'm gonna start by doing it for myself, and if anyone cares to watch, I'd welcome that. If not, that's fine too. First of all, I'm going to hide the timeline because we're not going to need it, and we're also going to change the stage size. We don't really need to be honest, but I'd feel a little more comfortable if it was a little bigger. It being vector graphics, doesn't really matter so much what the stage size is in terms of pixels because vectors scale uh, pretty much infinitely as far as I know. That might not be true. Don't quote me on that. Okay, so we are going to just start drawing kind of whatever. It's just going to be complete random assortment of everything pop culture stuff, original characters, and whatever. Um, so let's get started. I think for the first character, um, let's draw. Who should we draw? I just saw Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie. It is what's today? November 19th of 2018 at 1:57 p.m. right now. So middle of the day. Thanksgiving is coming up. Bohemian Rhapsody came out I think a few weeks ago, and I just saw it yesterday. So I have that on my mind. I think Freddie Mercury might be a good starting point. So I might draw him kind of singing, and I'm going to use a reference. Certainly no shame in using a reference. That's how you learn how to draw things. In my keyboard, I have to look over my tablet here. Freddie Mercury, there you are. Okay. Yeah, if you're trying to draw like an actual character or person, or even if you're not, if you're even doing original stuff, it's good to use references just so that you learn what things look like. You know, drawing while you're referencing something else makes you better. It just does. Um, so let's get cracking here. Let's draw Freddie Mercury. And he's going to be singing. I like to start with the nose, little eyebrow action. And of course, the glorious mustache. But first, I'm going to do the mouth. It's going to be a bit exaggerated. That's fine. That's part of the fun. Whoa, Flash. I am using Flash because it's what I'm used to. I thought about using Illustrator for it, but that is just too. I don't know. I'm not that good at Illustrator, and I should get better. I should practice with it. But as far as I know, Flash should do the job just fine anyway. So, woo, that's weird. You know, I'm gonna put the mustache in later. Once we start coloring, I'll put the mustache in. Come on. Flash. There's an option in Flash. If you don't use Flash at all, this might be kind of you might not care. But there's a smoothing option in Flash for your drawing, and if you that will kind of change the line after you put it down, and to an extent, it does help. Mainly just because I find that what was I gonna say? Without it, the line becomes very jagged and very shaky. But with it, it's very much it does help kind of clean it up a little bit, but sometimes it takes on a mind of its own, and that can be kind of difficult to deal with. So like there, so you'll see me put down a line, it'll kind of change after I draw it. Honestly, that's just the way I kind of have been working, and I don't know a better way to really go about it, because without it, like I said, it comes out very shaky. So if anyone knows a better way to do that, I'd be very interested. There's also some other options over here that I don't use. Maybe I should, but not right now. I see we do have one watcher on Twitch. Thank you for joining. You're in a very exclusive group right now, seeing this. I am drawing Freddie Mercury here because I just saw Bohemian Rhapsody. This is the start of a huge project. I hope to be a huge project where it's just tons of characters on a big scene that we can just fill with all sorts of random stuff. And I think it'll be pretty cool. And I hope I can keep adding to it for a very long time. Freddie Mercury kind of goes like that. Okay. And you know what? It's the lack of mustache is freaking me out. So I'm going to add that in right now. And it would help if I had a color that I could see on the white background. Let's do red. And no, I'm not making his mustache red. Don't fret. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do it that way. I'm just going to draw it in. A little bit of a gamble, because like I said, Flash does like to change things after you put the lines down. But I think just coloring it in like this is going to be my best bet. The shape of the mustache is just a little too tricky to draw as an outline. At least I think so. Oh, so that's alright. Let's erase part of that there. There we go. That looks pretty nice. Now, outfit-wise, we could do the tank top. We could do... Boy, he was not a fan of shirts, was he? I'm looking at all these pictures on Google Images. He did not have a lot of shirts on. It's an interesting-looking suit there. You can't see this, so I apologize for that. But I think we're going to go tank top, because that seems to be his favorite. At least that's what's coming up for the most. And if the movie is accurate, that's what he wore at Live Aid, the concert in 1985. I've never actually seen the footage of Live Aid, so I'm not sure. I assume it's accurate. I'm going to assume that that's what he wore to the actual concert. But so, and then he's also going to be grabbing his... Actually, let's have one arm reaching towards the sky. Kind of pointing upwards. Just looking at these references again. You can do like a finger in the air. If it would help if his finger looked like it was attached to his hand. You can stylize it a little bit. It's certainly, you know, I have a very cartoon-like style, so I'm definitely not aiming for photorealism. But I do like to try and get the proportions and stuff at least close to the point where you can look at who it is and say, oh, yeah, I know who that is. I recognize that character. Obviously, you want it to be recognizable, so that's the real goal. And then in this other hand, he's going to be holding his kind of half microphone stand that he would wield on stage so often. So I think the best way to do that, and it looks like he usually held it by the actual microphone. He didn't hold it just by the stand part. And this is why references are so good, because you know details like that. You notice things like that. So I'm going to have him holding with his hand. And I always have to like look at my own hands to figure out which side the thumb goes on. So if he's like that, and his thumb is going to come around like that. And I've drawn a million hands, and I still have to remind myself, okay, which way is the character's which way is he facing, which way is the thumb going to go, just because I don't know, I might be a little slow. All right, microphone. Microphone goes in his hand, and it's got that kind of like thicker part of the wire there, and the stand part will come kind of whoops, straight lines are always fun. I mean, there are tools that'll obviously do straight lines for you. The problem being is the straight lines, if I do that, that uses the pencil color over here. You can see that where my arrow is, not the paint fill color, which is what the brush uses. And at the end, you will see me use the pencil to sort of outline where the shadows go. And then I have to erase all those lines. And it's just kind of a pain when you have pencil lines in there that you do want to keep, and you can't just select all and delete everything. So I'm going to try my best, and honestly, there are other ways to get straight lines, and I might cave in, because I don't think this is going to go very, it's not terrible. How long was it? It's usually longer than that. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. No, I'm not going to do that. Never mind. I'm just gonna, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a straightish line like that. And then we're going to do some trickery right here. This is a little, we are going to cut it. I'm going to delete that. Well, I'll delete that later. Paste in center. And look, now we suddenly have a straight line that we can move around however we want. Sometimes it's just the easiest way to do it. And then we can clean that up later. But the fact is, we have a straight line there. We can even paste in another one. Kind of make it parallel. And now we see that it's really not as straight as we would like, but that's okay. We're going to zoom in a little bit. Whoopsies. And let's clean this up a little bit. Sometimes you got to get creative in how you tackle certain problems in how to portray things. And something like making a straight line. There are 1,000 ways to do that, and honestly, ways that'll get you much straighter lines than what I just did. But, you know, that's just kind of the way it is. Okay. Let's zoom out. In my tablet, I still need to kind of figure out what shortcuts I'm going to use for different things, so it's not quite optimized yet. That's okay. All right, let's do the rest of his body. Kind of like this. This arm is going to have to come out like that. There we go. Boy, arms are hard. That looks like garbage. I see we have another person watching according to Twitch. Thank you very much. I am drawing Freddie Mercury. I'm trying my best anyway. It's not an easy thing to draw, but that is okay. We're gonna actually make the arm kind of come out like this. And this isn't just Freddie Mercury. This is going to be a bigger drawing. Hopefully, in the end, there's going to be tons of characters on the scene. It's an ongoing thing. I hope to add to it fairly consistently. But Freddie Mercury just gets the honor of being the very first character on the canvas. Okay, so let's cap off this mic stand here. And let's do it today. That looks, I'm going to get in there real close. Yeah. Works for me. Okay. Okay. The thing is, I see a lot of pictures of him in the tank top, which is what we're going to use. Pants wise, his pants, looks like he wore jeans or a very light wash kind of jeans, maybe white pants. Okay, we can do that. So let's see, what do we want for his legs to be doing? Kind of doing like a, maybe like a, coming out like that. Is his torso too long? I feel like his torso is a little bit long. Let's shorten that up a little bit. I feel like that's a lot better. Whoops. Okay. So one leg coming out like that. And then the other one is going to come down. He wore pretty tight-fitting jeans, I think. Oh. Emporio Music, could you draw me, bro? I'm a musician as well. You could just swap the face. That's great. You know what? I certainly don't mind taking requests of characters. I don't know what you look like, Emporio Music. What's your name come from, Emporio? I can copy and paste the body and just put a different face on, maybe, and you and Freddie can like be singing at each other. I think that'd be pretty cool. I don't know what he wore as far as shoes go. Oh, his pants. His pants were kind of like that. Just kind of separate them. We'll give him a nice little belt too. And we're gonna give him some. Gonna outline the tank top now. Very nice. And yeah, I mentioned the shoes. What did he like to wear on stage? I don't know. I don't think it was just normal sneakers. That wouldn't be very Freddie. Oh, here's a picture. And it looks like normal sneakers. So there is that. Expecting something a little more gaudy from him. But if that's all it is, that's fine. Some Nikes he has there. Okay. We'll go with that. I'm fine with that. And we're gonna like give the jeans, they were tight, but I think down at the ankle we're gonna kind of have them wrinkle a little bit. Just to show that they are not glued to his skin. So let's draw some like sneakers. Whoopsies. And there's Flash doing its thing. That looks like a dog shit of a shoe. We're going to redo that completely. Okay. Let us dig in there. Clean that up while we're up here. And for this, we're going to get a little more detailed. So we're going to... I saw my own screen scroll up in the Twitch preview, and I kind of was like, what the hell's going on? Shoes should not be hard to draw, but this one is proving a bit challenging. It's kind of weird what you kind of get hung up on. It's like some random things sometimes. You'll knock out a hand, like someone's hand in a weird position, and then struggle with like an apple. It's like completely random. It's very strange. Like this shoe, I'm still not totally sure about it. But it's kind of at that point too where we're like, all right, we're committed now. So, and again, not photorealistic or anything. It's a cartoon. We don't have to draw every thread and particle of the shoe. He's wearing Nikes in that pic. I don't know if it matters too much. I don't even know if I want to give Nike that product placement. So you know what? We're going to not put anything, actually. Is his foot huge? It might be, but that's okay. That's okay. And his other leg kind of comes down like this and that and this. And time to do that shoe again. And I think we'll be just about ready to color. Clean up a few other little things, I think, here and there. And yeah, we could start penciling in the shadows, which is my favorite part, to be honest, doing the shadows and the coloring, because it's very satisfying to watch the lines disappear and the art suddenly looks very realistic. Not realistic, but it all comes together at once, all of a sudden at the end. Emporio Music has left, I think. So, sorry, bud. I don't know what you look like. I'd love to draw you. But not if you're not here. Okay, so again, we have the tongue. And this leg is kind of coming over. Let's get the other shoe in frame so we kind of have a reference and don't accidentally make this shoe like super small or super big. And this one's going to be kind of bent down. That looks pretty alright, I guess. You can tell what that is. People aren't going to be like, well, what the hell's on the end of his legs? Pretty obvious that it's a shoe. Okay. Kind of a sole thing. We have the tongue part. We're going to have some laces, or at least something kind of insinuating laces right there. And I think that's going to pretty much do it for the lines. Let's add a little more detail. Okay. First of all, let's give him an actual belt. And Freddie, I assume, has a pretty over-the-top belt. No, it looks pretty normal. Well, not there. He has like a red ribbon in that picture. I don't think we're going to use that. But let's just give him a normal belt. Some belt loop action to prove that we know how belts work. We know full well how belts work. Something like that. And at least, and then we also use a thinner line to add in some other details. Like maybe just some wrinkles in his shirt there. We're we're going to have some chest hair too, but we're going to actually add that at the end after the color is down, because otherwise we might have to color inside. The chest hair might accidentally make enclosed areas, which we'd have to go inside and color, which we don't necessarily want. We're also going to fill in this in his mustache here. We're going to give his ear a little more there. Finger, just looking over it, seeing what other little details we can put in. Some wrinkles down here where his jeans are kind of bunching up. Cool. All right, let's pencil in the shadows. This is one of my favorite parts. So this is going to look super weird for a little bit. Basically, what I'm going to do with this pencil, this red line, is I am going to do two things. So one is going to be I'm going to close any gaps that I see. And gaps mean anything that does not, where the lines don't quite connect. Because when I go to color, that's going to cause problems. So we're going to close gaps, and we are also going to, and more importantly, possibly, is put the shadows in. So I don't see. Boy, this arm is a lot beefier than his raised arm, isn't it? Let me stand back for a second and look at that. Yeah, it's a little. That's all right though. It looks fine. I'm not gonna dwell too much on it. So what's the lighting gonna be? I'm thinking like a harsh kind of light from above, like a spotlight maybe. So I'm not gonna go crazy with it because it is a cartoon, and cartoons don't have. I'm just gonna clean up that a little bit right there. Cartoons don't have to have crazy lighting and stuff, but we're definitely gonna at least put some under his chin, on his neck. This arm for sure is gonna get some shadow there, and this is kind of what it is. It's basically you're kind of drawing where the shadows go, and it'll all make sense at the end, I promise. Maybe under his hand a little bit here. Kind of, you gotta picture where the light's going. Where's the light not gonna reach? Let's even like do some there and there even. I'm trying to decide. I don't really want to like put too many shadows on his face. I want the face to be fairly clean. I might put like a little bit there. Maybe like a little bit on his nose. This he can probably, not a huge shadow, but still a little bit. I'm actually going to connect those two shadows. And again, it looks weird as hell, I know, but it'll all make sense at the end. Okay. So let's also do some maybe wrinkles. Kind of pronounce the wrinkles that might be happening on his shirt. And also kind of do, I don't know how that's going to look, but you know what? Let's try it. Let's try it. What do we have to lose? No harm in trying things. Let's also make the mic stand a little shadow there. His jeans right here. That looks all right, I guess. And here. Let's actually do like that. Maybe the light's coming and this is completely in shadow maybe over here. So let me real quick color this in and see what it looks like. Then we'll get down to the shoes. I don't know what kind of shadows the shoes are going to have, but I think we'll know probably better once we color the rest of it in. So also another thing I'm going to do is change the stage color. And the stage is the background basically. This is just temporary. This is basically, I'm just going to make it an off gray. That way, and the trick to that is, that way, once I color in his teeth white, I actually can tell that I did it. If the background was white, I'd be like, did it actually change or what? So there's a very small difference there, but you can see it. Tank top's also going to be white. And okay, you see the problem here. Let me zoom in more. So this area that we outlined did not get colored in because that's a shadow. That was the whole point of the pencil. This did though, because if you look, it barely does not connect. And that drives me up a wall how picky it is. And maybe there is an option to change the threshold on that, but I don't really know of it. I know you can close small gaps with your paint bucket, but I don't like doing that if I don't have to. And also coloring sometimes brings out areas that you might not have seen before. So like this is a little messy up here, so I'm just gonna brush that up. That looks a lot better. White, do we want white anywhere else? I think we're good for white for now. Let's get a skinish tone. He was, let's see what that looks like. It's probably too tan, I think. I know he was, whatever. That's better. Okay, let's go with that. Okay, looks pretty good. And let's get a shadow color for that. So you kind of see how it comes together now. It's just like a coloring book. You're just coloring different sections, but you make the sections up yourself. Is the only difference. And this is definitely my favorite part because it just really brings the whole drawing together. We're also going to take this black and put it in his hair. We can add a little shine in his hair later if we like. Let's grab our white and get a shadow color for his tank top. And I like using a little hint of blue. Or purple or something when I make a shadow for white. Not just gray, because gray just is kind of whatever. It's kind of muddy. It's kind of bleh. Doesn't add much. But I like putting a little color in when I can. And let's make his pants maybe pretty lightish blue too. Whoops. And see, the same thing happened here. This over here, as I zoom right into his crotch, is not connected. Right here, there's a tiny little speck of space between those two lines. And so the color bled into this area. And like I said, there is an option over here to close small gaps. If you do that, it'll automatically close any gaps that you might not have noticed that are small enough. And there's different thresholds to that. You can also close medium and large gaps as well. I don't like doing that if I can help it because it can have some unintended areas that don't quite get filled in if it's too small. But maybe you do want to fill those areas and you left it open on purpose. If that made any sense. Let's get a shadow color for his jeans. We're just going to take the same color and just bring it down. Again, this won't fill at all because there is a tiny little gap. And in this instance, it's a pretty basic shape. There's no tiny little corners or tricky bits to it. So I'm just going to close small gaps and fill that in real quick. Fill that in, fill that in, fill again. We're going to have to do this. Fill that in. Okay, so we can definitely see it taking shape. We're going to make his belt black as well, I think. And for the buckle, we'll keep it gray, I guess. Gray buckle's fine. Look at that. Let's do his tongue. Let's get like a kind of a pinkish tongue color. And maybe like a darker reddish thing for his mouth. Look at that. Now let's grab some white and kind of do that. Is that too much? Maybe let's go smaller. That's pretty. That's good. I like that. And then for the and then we got to remember like little areas like this. Whoops, not like that. Like this need to get attention as well. The mic stand will make mostly gray, maybe a very slight blue. And the microphone will be pretty similar as well. Actually, let's make shadow, shadow, shadow. We'll make the mic little. We'll make the mic actually like. Let's make it lighter. And the wire, the thicker part of the wire, is going to be almost black. All right, now the shoes. Shoes, I don't know. We can probably. What was he wearing up here in my reference picture? Kind of green shoes, actually, which is kind of. I guess I would kind of go. I don't know if he actually ever wore green shoes, but yeah, now he did. So let's actually make most of the shoe white. Let's do that. We'll make maybe the soles like a dark green. A little bit of Stan Smith action going on. And we're also going to make the shoe part white. I probably should have added laces later, because that makes it a bit more difficult to color in. And let's get some kind of a darker color for the socks. And now that they're colored, I definitely see they need shadows. So let's add some shadows to it. Let's kind of do like that maybe, and like that. I don't know. It doesn't have to make sense. Just the fact that we're actually going to steal that same shadow color from up there. Use that, and let's also put maybe some sort of I don't know, little accent up here with that same green to kind of bring it together. Okay, so we can always add more to it, and I definitely will, I think. But that's most of Freddie Mercury. Let's now, the best part is, and I don't have a shortcut on my tablet for this, so I'm just going to select everything with the arrow tool. And now I'm going to take the pencil away. You ready? You ready? This is the best part. This is the best part. Done. There he is. There's Freddie frickin' Mercury. And then at this point, you really see what it looks like. You can obviously always go back in and add things, extra things if you think it needs it. That's easily my favorite part of drawing, is just taking away those pencil lines, showing the character fully. It's very cool. Yeah, his right arm is definitely beefier. He definitely does curls on one side. I'm also gonna like kind of yeah, just a little like that. And then maybe also, what else can we do? What else? He has this armband in a lot of these pictures with the tank top. Might add the armband somewhere. Where'd it go? I just had it. There it is. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's go the extra mile. Let's go put in the extra effort. So make that a little thicker. Okay. And I'm just gonna make that black, and then I'm gonna go in with a grayish color and kind of add these studs that are on the armband. I'm also going to go in with white, I think, and kind of make those studs pop a little more. Look at Freddie go. Very cool. Okay, so that's all for Freddie, I think. That's character number 1 out of hopefully many, many more to come, and they're all going to share the same space, so it's going to be a massive, just chaotic scene, I hope. I'm actually going to convert him to a symbol, and what that does is it lets us move him around a lot easier. It'll separate him from the other characters, and then we can edit our characters more individually. So I'm going to go to convert to symbol. I'm going to call it, again, I'll reach around my keyboard here, Freddie. Okay, so now he's a symbol. And now he's in our library. There's Freddie. And I can add tons of Freddies if I wanted. That's what a symbol does. Just get rid of those. Thank you so much for watching. If you did watch this, obviously you did, if you made it this far. I hope to continue this. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think. It's inspired by this subreddit I found called Wimble Builder or something like that. And it's all these pictures with tons of detail and just tons of characters, and it's just super chaotic and really crazy. And you can spend hours just studying the picture, scanning it, looking for like a Where's Waldo or an I Spy book picture is kind of what the look is. So that's kind of what I'm going for, and it's just gonna be very, very gradual, very slow process. But I'll stream them on Twitch when I do work on it. And I'll also probably upload it to a YouTube channel. Not my main YouTube channel, because it would get cluttered, I think, but a YouTube channel will have it. And once I make the channel, I'll start promoting it. Thank you so much, guys, and I will see you when I see you. Bye-bye.